Here we go. We'll do this. Do 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 do. Be with you in one moment. Alrighty. Hope folks are doing well. Let me know that you can hear me okay, because I think this is my first time doing the YouTube live stream from the new rig, which is why you have a different setup. When I had the laptop that I was using before, it was obviously mobile, so I could set it up over where I shoot, which is over that away. Whereas this, I can't. So now when I stream from the desk, and that's just how we do. So, hard cider's in hand. Hope folks are doing well. Let's see, Ms. Wicked Wolf, Gozer, Ben, Donna, Carowin, hello. Anthony, Crystal, Homebody, lots of folks, Jack. Oh, good, everyone can hear me. Ha 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 ha. I hope everybody's doing well. I just got back, and when I say just got back, I mean 10 minutes ago. Just got back from seeing Venom, Let There Be Carnage. No, I will not spoil anything in the stream, don't worry. I am going to have to shoot my review right after this, which is why, Ms. Wicked Wolf, no, while I am drinking, I am not getting drunk tonight. Because I've got work to do once I'm done with this. You're golden. Also, last week I got my first VR headset. Best of luck with that. The idea of trying VR terrifies me because I get motion sick from games as is. The idea, like knowing how badly motion sickness tends to hit people who try VR. Yeah, no, that would go very badly, very quickly. Hey, Bookworm, Roxy Chick, Callie, Charles. Ooh, lots of folks. Good to see you all. My water is banana milkshake if your water is yellow eye or a plumber or a doctor. Yeah, fair enough. Is it worth a watch? If you liked the first Venom, then yes, you should check out Let There Be Carnage. Because here's the thing, and this is true of both movies. I can't really defend it as a good movie, but I sure have a lot of fun with it. And, like, I'll probably elaborate more on this when I shoot my actual review. But I feel like I'm much more forgiving of these movies than I might otherwise be. Because, because when I first fell in love with Venom back in the 90s, I was like 12. So, you know, the nostalgia I have for the character, I feel like it puts me in that mindset, and it just makes me much more forgiving. Yeah, I know the ring light is reflecting. Hang on, maybe if I shift that a little that way, I'm not sure that's worth it. I mean, it's still going to reflect. It's a matter of where I look. So, doing the best I can. Yeah, new setup and all that. But I enjoyed Let There Be Carnage. I thought it was fun, even though I would not call it a good movie. But like both it and the first Venom are fun in an extremely 90s way, which hits the nostalgia that I want out of these. So there you go. Double Vera tonight, watching your stream and the Brit Detective show, Vera. See what I'm doing here? Woo! Props to you for being able to juggle that many things at once. I frequently try because, you know, ADHD, but doesn't mean I actually take things in very well. My thoughts on Charlotte's Web? I don't know. I grew up on the animated movie, never saw the live action one. I think I either read the book or the book was read to us in grade school. I can't remember now. I know I knew the movie first. It's fine. At least the Eminem song is better in this movie. I liked how terrible that song was. Venom. So bad. Have you watched No Time to Die? No, it's not where I am yet. It will be come Thursday, I think. I probably won't see it until next week, though. I mean, I had to see Venom tonight because this is my last night this week before my kiddo comes over, because I have her alternating weekends, and I'm not going to take her to see No Time to Die, and she wouldn't want to anyways. So I don't want, like, it's not like she isn't old enough to handle herself, but I don't like the idea of just leaving my kid to go and watch a movie she doesn't give a dang about. Makes me feel like a bad parent. So, what was your favorite Halloween costume growing up? I don't know. I had a lot of fun doing Dracula when I was young. Like, real young. I just like that they've not tried to make an R-rated serious horror and just embrace everything about this is dumb. Well, they kind of have to, since they weren't going for the R rating. So if you're not going to go the full bore gore on it, you kind of have to just accept this is real stupid. Eddie, I want to eat his brain. God, it's a lot of fun. Warner Brothers is remaking The Lost Boys. What are your thoughts? Why? First of all, I don't know if I believe you because you've lied to me before, so I'm not going to Google it because I don't care. But just the idea in general, I'll just throw it out there. Why? What's the point? Wish me luck. I'm going to put up my first YouTube video in a week, and I'm so nervous about it. Best of luck, Donna. I know it feels nerve-wracking, but like you get used to it for the most part. And look, see, there's people in the comments who don't know you for spewing bullcrap like I do. And yes, I know sometimes you say something that's actually true, but, I don't take you seriously that much anymore. You can only cash that check so many times. Money, Vera, money. That's always the reason for pointless remakes. I mean, like, that's the reason for anything. Money's the reason for original films, too. It's just that remakes are a safer bet. Like, that's one of the things that, like, strikes me as a little bit disconnected from the understanding of Hollywood as a business. When people are like, oh, they just make all these remakes and these sequels and these franchises to make money. They make everything to make money. And they're going to do the thing that makes the most money. And at present, franchises make more money. I say at present, they almost always have. Collectively. The difference is that it used to be sequels did not make as much as the movies that came before, but they were still worth making, and you would make more money on those than you would on original properties, even with dwindling returns. That was part of a video I did a month ago. I can't remember. But, they make original movies just to make money, too. That's what it is. Favorite George Carlin bit? I don't know. I know way too much of his repertoire. So it's hard for me to isolate a single piece. It depends on my mood. I tend to favor 90s and earlier, because especially like his early stuff, I kind of like what I think I could distinguish as his goofy shit period. And that would be his term as well, because I remember at one point in the 60s, he in a bit, he actually said, my job is basically thinking up goofy shit. And like that mode is kind of the stuff I like a bit better. He got angrier as time went on. And by the time he did his last special, I kind of wasn't connecting with it anymore. And like there were times when it balanced, like in the 90s, it balanced pretty well. And he maintained the balance in like his books and whatnot. But yeah, I kind of liked his lighter stuff, to be honest. What's the show you keep posting about in the community tab? You're probably referring to Farscape, because I post alerts that the latest episode of What the Frell, the podcast I do with Jesse Gender, reviewing every episode of Farscape. So that's probably the one you're thinking of. Fun show. Check it out. It's on Amazon. Well, in the US it is anyway. I don't know what service it's on elsewhere. Can never be sure. And when have I lied to you? I've never lied to you. You know when. I'm not going down this rabbit hole right now. I kind of want No Time to Die to double down on the stupidity of Spectre. Blofeld revealed he's Bond's father and Craig just walks off set. I would laugh sincerely, except I hated Spectre so much. I can't. I just can't. Just curious, I think I saw you say something, but for your series in the break room, is No Time to Die going to be the Craig movie? No, because I was supposed to be done with these before this. Skyfall's the Craig movie, which I should do this week before I do No Time to Die. God, I've got a lot going on. Farscape looks effing weird. It is. That's part of why it's great. Farscape is so beautifully odd. Muppets in Space is a wonderful thing. Yeah. It's bonkers. And I love it. I love Farscape to death. Excuse me. Rewatching Salad Fingers for the Halloween season. Have you seen it and any thoughts? I remember seeing bits of it because, like, I'm showing my age. I'm a Newgrounds veteran from like the start of the 2000s. So I remember when Salad Fingers first started becoming a big thing. I never really got into it. It seemed a little too weird for weirdness' sake. And it appeared to a kind of horror fan that I'm not. Like, I've talked about this before. My interest in horror is largely aesthetic. And not so much like really feeling the horror. And I certainly don't like jump scares. So like, I like horror aspects and aesthetics and things, but I don't like a lot of the tropes of horror stories. Who's worst? Leatherface, Michael Myers, Jason, or Freddy Krueger? Define worst. Like, are you saying which one do I like the least? I can't really judge that. I've never seen from start to finish a Halloween or a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. Not for any reason. I just haven't. Idris Elba as the next Bond. They won't. They're not going to do. He's too old. I don't mean he's too old to do the part now, but I mean they're going to want to get at least a decade out of whoever the heck they hire. They're going to want somebody closer to 40 than 50. Like, if there was a window for Idris Elba, it's closed. Again, nothing to do with whether or not he could do the part. Nothing to do with whether or not he would be awesome in the part, because he would be. But, like, franchise management. You won't get as many movies out of him being able to do the stunts for as long as you need to have it be worth it. Especially with Bond, which is not a well-oiled machine and never has been. At a well-oiled machine studio that could crank a new movie out every 2 years like clockwork, maybe you'd get Idris Elba, you'd get him for 3 movies. But Bond movies, it's a mess every time. The productions are always a disaster, and they always take way longer than they should for the kind of movie that it is. In terms of like being a big tentpole thing, just because of how many fingers are in the pie and how many rights holders get involved in the thing. So it's always a mess. They'll never use Elba. John M. Chu said he wanted James Corden to play Dr. Dilliman in the Wicked movie, and I was like, John, I thought I could trust you. I mean, I don't care. I don't care. Wicked will be a movie. It'll be mediocre. The play will still be worth seeing. I don't care. Absinthe. When did absinthe become the subject in in the chat? Hello. I have had absinthe, although I've had the American absinthe, which doesn't have the wortwood in it. I do kind of like it though, but then again, I also like licorice. So, have you seen the trailer for Last Night in Soho, the new Edgar Wright film? I did. That was a week or two ago, wasn't it? Looked interesting. I mean, like, it's Edgar Wright. I'll give pretty much anything he makes a shot, at least, because even the movies that he's made that I don't love are still worth seeing at least once. Scott Pilgrim. Have you seen Wreck and/or its sequel? Nope. Found footage, motion sickness, bad mix. Bad mix. Can you see into the future? No, I can see into the past because there's an amount of time between when something happens and when the light reaches my eyes and my brain processes the information. So no, I see into the past, as do we all. By the way, anyone here good at doing thumbnails or know someone who does? Ben, get in touch with Joel. Joel is my thumbnail guy. He is great. Hit him up on Twitter. I'll get you his handle. Hold on. At Poorly Aged Who. POORLYAGEDWHO. He is great. Let him know what you want. He will get back to you, and he'll quote you what he needs in terms of price. Like, pay him. He deserves to be paid, but send work to Joel. Joel is great. My bro has had the real thing and said it was quite trippy. With absinthe? Yeah, The idea of tripping is not one I'm particularly eager to try. I'm not going to say never, but like, I've got enough issues with my own brain. The idea of like unlocking or deep diving into parts of it, I can see that going bad very quickly. Did you see the new trailer for Encanto? I did. It's interesting. I feel like it's the kind of pitch that is... It feels like the kind of movie that it is hard to do an elevator pitch on. I'm dog sitting right now, so there is now a dog down here. Do you want to see the people? What? No, you're going to walk away. I was going to try and show you a puppy, but he wandered off. Archie, come here, buddy. Come here. You want to come here? I think the people like to see you. I'm going to try this. Hang on. Come here, bud. Oh, you're rolling around. That's what's up. Come here. Come here. Oh. People gonna want to see you. Yes. Yes. Let the people see this face. Don't lick me. Yes. Look. It's people. Hi, people. Hello, friend. Hello. Mwah. All right. Here you go. Little bugger. So that's Archie. Watch him every now and then. He's a good boy. He's a good boy, isn't he? Yes, he is. Have you ever been on an acid trip? Nope. I've never done anything tripping. I've never had acid. I've never done shrooms. Never had real absinthe. And again, not eager to try. Not really, I feel like whatever window there was for me to engage in drugs, I think I passed it. Not something I'm feeling so much. Who's excited to see Muppets Haunted Mansion? Okay, funny thing about that, Brandon, is I was talking with Liz, and she said, she didn't know about Muppets Haunted Mansion. And she said, they have Muppet Christmas Carol. There really needs to be a Muppet Halloween movie. And I was like, ooh, do I have a surprise for you and a trailer to show you? So that was a lot of fun to show her that. I am looking forward to it. I don't have super high expectations, but I expect it to be fun. And I expect I'll definitely review it after I see it. Whether I'll see it right when it comes out, I don't know. It's hard to know these days, just with everything going on, when I will get to things. And since I've made the decision to move pretty much all the review material that isn't Doctor Who over to the break room. And I say that just because, like, when new episodes of Doctor Who start airing, I'll put them in the main channel. But pretty much everything else is moved to the break room. So, like, I don't feel the need to jump on it immediately because I'm not as worried about. Oh my goodness, excuse me. I'm not as worried about numbers when things go in the break room. I'm afraid I don't have Twitter. Does he have an email or a Discord? Yes, I can get you email, I think. See, that's the thing. I normally talk to him through a messenger app that I don't want to give his information out on. Give me a second here. Okay. I hope you're writing this down, Ben. Joel072002@gmail.com. That's Joel's email. Hit him up. Tell him I sent you. Offer him money. He's worth it. I finished so I can talk about it now. A couple weeks ago, I got to work on the set of the new Witcher prequel. Oh, I hope you enjoyed that. I still haven't seen any of the Witcher stuff. Muppets Les Mis needs to be a thing already. Okay, Jack, you need to Google or look on YouTube Sesame Street Les Mis, because that's already a thing. Any thought on the Blair Witch Project originals and sequels? I never saw any of them all the way through. I saw most of the original. I was working at a movie theater at the time, but it, motion sickness again, and it didn't scare me. And I never had any interest in any of the sequels or spinoffs or anything like that. Like, I appreciate what it was, and I understand why it took off, but never did anything for me. Green Mountain Cabaret shirt? Yes! Yes, indeed. Working on getting shows put together again. It's still a bit tricky, but, hopefully... I will be performing. I'll be performing on the 15th? 16th? What's the day? 15th. I'll be performing. Not with the cabaret, but I will be performing. I got to nail down my numbers. For spooky season, I recently saw the 1979 Salem's Lot for the first time. I enjoyed it. Very tense, dare I say, best Stephen King miniseries. Yes, even better than It. Haven't seen it. I also haven't seen that version of It either. Again, like there's just a lot of cultural touchstone stuff that passed me by at the time, or I never had reason to circle around to. So, I don't feel a particular need to go back to it. Jumping tracks a bit. I've been growing my hair out. Any tips for keeping it under control? Conditioner. That's kind of all I've got. Depends on the nature of your hair, I suppose. Don't know if you remember, but I've been saying for a while I'll be filming my own series soon. Well, soon finally came, and we start production on Saturday. Congratulations, Lewis. Very nice. That is excellent. What are your thoughts on Squid Game? I am aware it exists. Those are my thoughts. Oh, hey, Andrew. Nice to see you, too. It has been a while. Do you think in the Spider-Verse sequel they might feature the Broadway Turn Off the Dark Spidey? I doubt it, if only because... Well, okay, here's what I'll say. I wouldn't be surprised if they reference a Broadway show for Spidey. They won't feature that as a Spidey because not enough people will know what the hell it is or means. And like you can do deep cuts, but the problem with Broadway show deep cut plays in general is it's not immediately accessible to people who don't have access to the theater where it's playing. So like they won't do that. You should have been Pennywise in the remake. No. Lovely thought, but no. So cruel, and I'll never get to see Vera perform live. Wrong continent. There are virtual shows. I've just never gotten into them. partly just because I really love the being able to feed off the audience. Oh, geez, John, thank you. Ooh. You get a heart, and I actually forgot to say at the start, Super Chats get you a heart and my thanks and a guarantee that I will read your comment and or question. Otherwise, I do try and keep up with the chat, but make no promises. Let me hit you with the idea of an adaptation of The Tempest, where Prospero is Prosperpina, Antonio is Adriana, and Ferdinand is Veronica. Well, the first thing that comes to mind is the Julie Taymor adaptation of The Tempest, which did already have a female Prospero. Didn't gender bend anything else. I also heard it wasn't very good, so I never got around to seeing it. The Tempest is an interesting play and would be one. Like, here's the thing. So far as I could tell, Julie Taymor just bent the gender for Prospero because she wanted to cast Helen Mirren. And fair enough, for the record. That's as good a justification as any. But in my mind, you'd need to really rework some of the characters rather than just gender swap them. Not heavily, but enough to account for the fact that unless you're just saying this takes place in a completely gender-flip universe where power dynamics are on their head and women are in power and men aren't, then you should be doing something with the characters to account for the way women at that point in time would have been allowed or not allowed to hold power or hold influence or anything along those lines. I think it will require more thorough reworking of the characters, which I would be interesting to see. If you ever wanted to get into current gen gaming, you should try streaming games with Xbox Game Pass, providing your internet isn't complete trash. My internet is up and down, and I am technically current gen now because I have a Switch. And I actually, on my rig, I can start playing more recent games, and will be as well. I'm going to start streaming Hades tomorrow, actually. I get that installed. But like getting more services and Game Pass, and I don't know. I'm trying to not sink more money into things that I can help. Apparently, the Rose Book novel written by RTD, A Future Doctor, was described as tall, bald, black, and wielding a flaming sword. Huh. Not sure how much I love the idea of the Doctor with a sword. I know he's had a sword a few times, but thoughts on the Morbius movie? That's going to be so bad. It's also going to bomb. Like, maybe not bomb, but it's going to underperform. For the 1-2 punch of your average audience has no idea who Morbius is. Like, you could theoretically make that argument about Venom, but the thing is, there's a lot of casual Spider-Man fans who know who Venom is because he showed up in, like, say, every single cartoon iteration of Spider-Man ever and multiple video games or whatever. Morbius is a deeper cut. He's basically a vampire. And I think the public in general kind of burnt on vampires. I think the public in general is kind of burnt on Jared Leto, to be honest. I mean, I'm going to watch it, but I just don't think it's going to make anywhere near the returns Sony expects or wants it to. It won't come close. Have I ever seen Always Sunny in Philadelphia? Bits and pieces. It's really difficult for me to get into a show or movie or series where everyone involved is a terrible person. And I know for some people that's actually like the appeal of some of these things. Hell, it was kind of the appeal of Seinfeld back in the day. But my tolerance for that is limited. And it's hard for me to get. It's why I couldn't watch Rick and Morty. Well, it's one of two reasons why I couldn't watch Rick and Morty. I hate dialogue that improvised. It really does grate on me, and it makes me grind my teeth. Script your frickin' lines, for God's sake. Do you remember the Bloodshot movie with Vin Diesel? Interesting fact, it was originally going to be Jason David Frank in the main role. I'm not sure if I know who that is. I'm going to have to Google who that is. Jason David Frank. And that's all just one person? It's not 3 people? Lame joke. Jason David Frank. Who the heck are you? Oh! Tommy from Power Rangers. Okay. I do know who he is. I don't know what the heck else he's done, but I do know who he is. I always hear that Podquisition talk about Game Pass and how they played some overlooked games because it was on Game Pass. It sounds like a genuine cool service for exploring games. It does. The thing is, though, for me, is that now that I finally have a rig that can play decent games and I have a Switch, I'm not needing an outlet for little known games. I think it's really good for people like the folks on Podquisition, because I listen to that one too, because they play a lot of games. So they benefit from having something that will give them access to lesser known stuff. I don't necessarily need that because I'm only just starting to play, the known stuff. And even with that, I'm kind of skirting along the edges because I've been playing stuff like Celeste and Spiritfarer, and I'm working on Dead Cells right now. So, but my point is, I don't need access to the lesser known stuff because just skimming the surface of the publicly known and everyone's aware of stuff is way more than I have time for. So maybe don't watch my show then. All the characters are just straight up villains. Well, okay. Well, here's the thing. There's a difference between a show of nothing but villains and a show that's nothing but terrible people. Because, I should clarify. Not just terrible, because, friggin' Breaking Bad is about terrible people. It's something about people lacking any redeeming features. That was kind of my thing with Rick and Morty. There is nothing I like about this. It's not that they're bad people. It's not that they're villains. I can work with that. Heck, I like Archer. That's about the closest I come to that kind of thing. But there has to be something about them that I like and would want to be around. At least, within the confines of watching them on a show. If there's nothing, if there's no redeeming qualities at all, I don't want it. John, thank you again. My goodness, have a heart. I think some of the same issues at play when gender swapping the Tempest would be at play in telling the story of Francis Gump and Jonathan Curran. Okay. Google is my friend. I'm trying to... are you gender swapping things again, or is that a thing I should know? Because I'm assuming by Francis Gump, that's a flip on Forrest Gump. Jonathan Curran. Oh, would that be instead of Jenny? Oh, yeah, because it'd be Johnny. Okay. Yeah. That's the thing about gender swapping, and it's one of the things that I think can frustrate me because it's not uncommon, especially in community theater, to gender swap roles either out of necessity because it's very common for you to have access to more female actors than male actors in a lot of community theater settings, or somebody they're just going to be better. But even if you do that, which technically you're not always allowed to do, but who's checking? But what you're definitely not allowed to do is change any of the dialogue. And some characters, when gender swapped, fundamentally don't work the way as intended anymore because the things about their gender or how their gender is meant to be perceived or factor into their background is baked into the character and doesn't translate when flipped. So you do have to be careful about that. And that's not a reason to not gender flip things, but to do it properly, in most cases, it requires some fundamental reworking to account for things, because otherwise it's a gimmick. Just listen to the 3rd series of Missy from Big Finish. It's so good. I do need to get back to Big Finish. The first Cloverfield flick was filled with utterly unlikable characters, which is why nobody remembers the characters from that movie. They remember the monster, and if they were around at the time, they remember the marketing campaign. Nobody remembers those characters. So you kind of made my point for me. I take it playing Amnesia wouldn't be great for motion sickness either. I'm finding it a little overrated myself. Well, Amnesia is an old game at this point. And it's kind of the streamer cliche, you know, to play a jump scary kind of like that in Five Nights at Freddy's to overreact at the camera for. I don't really want to do that. Besides, it's not really my genre. Like 2D. 2D keeps me from getting motion sick. That's the hill I'm willing to die on. Cats is better than Phantom of the Opera. You go ahead and you have that hill all to yourself. Fair point, though. Arguably, Celeste, Dead Cells, and Spiritfarer are less known. I mean, they're less known in the sense that, you know, I'm looking for 2D games, which are going to be smaller productions because all the big studios are doing these massive 3D games, which until I get my proverbial sea legs again, I can't play. Best and worst Halloween memories? Ha! No. The question's fine, but no. Sorry. Like, asking for my best and worst memories of something, just, it feels like, I don't know. That feels personal. Not mad at you for asking. It's fine. I vomited when I watched Cloverfield. So did I, actually. I had to run out of the theater, and I threw up in a garbage can. And when I came back, I watched most of it with my eyes closed. And had my, at the time, fiance tell me what happened in the bits where I couldn't watch. Oh boy, that movie. Did you ever get through your Sense8 watch with your partner? Nope, we're still chipping away at it very gradually because we have to A, both be in the mood, and B, be able to devote full attention, because it's not uncommon for when we're together, one or the other of us kind of has work to do. So what we put on is something that can be a background feature for, you know, for us both to watch, but like doesn't require undivided attention. Sense8 kind of does. And since we've gotten back into the school year, Liz frequently has stuff that she still needs to do. So we're still only about halfway through the first season. We will get back to it. I've always wanted to get into Big Finish proper. I've listened to most of the Spotify stuff, but the cost is too prohibitive. Subscription services are your friend, Big Finish. Yeah, agreed. Big Finish is prohibitively expensive. Although, like, I do appreciate how much they've put up on Spotify. What are your thoughts on Five Nights at Freddy's? Scott Cawthon is a dick. That is my thought. And I have no further thought. Have you ever pulled a Charlie horse before? Oh yeah. I've woken up and gotten them before, which is awful. Like you find yourself just going rigid or thrashing in bed because like, not fun. I have had that. It's not ideal. Why do you think there are no Doctor Who games? There are, but they tend to be smaller adventure type games. Like I played The Lonely Assassins. So, you know, they're out there. But if you're asking me why there isn't a big budget AAA Doctor Who game, it's because the big budget games are combat focused. And you can't have combat in Doctor Who without betraying the character. And even in terms of like non-combat stuff like platforming, that's not really what he's about either. I think who the Doctor is doesn't translate to the kinds of games that big budget game studios make. I don't think it does at all. I pulled one on Sunday in my left calf. Ooh. Eesh. Apologies. Obvious. Sorry, I had something. Oh, okay. Retracted. Sorry, I was in the middle of reading a comment that got retracted. Yeah. Have you watched Brooklyn Nine-Nine all the way through? I have not. I need to go back. I've seen like the first 3 or 4 seasons completely. I kept meaning to like go back and catch up, and I just didn't. I don't know. Doctor Who puzzle game, the answer is always the sonic screwdriver. Yeah. Like, Doctor Who just doesn't gamify well. Because what are the things the Doctor does? Explore and like put two and two together. Like, so you can't standardize the kind of thought process he goes through with the point and click thing. I mean, you could do it as an adventure game, but it's going to feel static and lack the energy, because the problem with those kinds of games is they are slow and methodical. And Doctor Who actually has a lot of energy, but it's not energy that translates into platforming or combat, which is how video games do high energy. They just really aren't very compatible. The fact that Paul has the blue eyes in the trailer implies the new Dune movie goes pretty far into the book. I'm working on the book right now. Need to have it done before the new movie comes out. On a scale of 1 to 10, how hot do you think you are? What, you mean right now? Or looking at my best? I'm not going to answer that either way, but... Do you have any big finish that your Patreons voted on? If not, I recommend Doctor Who and the Pirates as always. I have some big finish that I have, but have not gotten to. Because unfortunately, when I got my new car, it doesn't have a CD player. And that's where I used to listen to Big Finish, on commutes. But I can't because there isn't a CD player in the car. So I need to rip the audio and put it on something that I can listen to. Because I've got the Ninth Doctor box set. I have Jago and Lightfoot. I've got some other stuff I can't even remember right now. Which I want to listen to, but it's a pain in the butt. Obviously I don't think you'd ever make them now, but what stopped your ranking reviews on Buffy and Angel? I was always interested to see one on Seasons. I just kept pushing it back for other stuff. Oh, check the Discord. Yes, Carolyn, I will do that in just a moment. Just going to answer this question. More Buffy and Angel related stuff was something I always intended to come back to. I definitely really wanted to do a deep dive on why I think the season 5 finale for Angel is one of the best series finales in television history. But at this point, I just don't wanna. But I just kept pushing it back because I foolishly thought there would always be time to do it later. That plus, honestly, the Buffy related stuff didn't get the highest views. So that was part of why I kept pushing it back. If I had an idea that I thought would get better views, I'd just do that. And I kept pushing it back and back and back and back. Gonna see the Eternals? Yeah, of course. All right, I gotta check the Discord. So back in a minute, folks. Reminder, the Council of Geeks Discord is a Patreon exclusive perk. I'm not slurring my words. What are you talking about? It's a Patreon exclusive perk at the $2 support level. That ain't too much, I don't think. Just saying. Anyways, let's see what I got. Random live stream question. You are challenged to a duel to the death over a matter of honor, but the choice of weapon is yours. What weapon do you choose? Choices are mace, crossbow, or scythe. I would probably favor a mace. It would come down to a mace or a crossbow. Scythe is out because they're cumbersome as hell. And let's be honest, a scythe as a weapon is a retrofit. They're not very practical as weapons. They're slow and they're heavy. So I wouldn't favor the scythe at all. That's out. The crossbow and the mace, here's the thing that it comes down to. The crossbow's going to get the first shot off, whoever has that. But if you miss, and it's a true, accurate, traditional crossbow, not like some weird steampunk auto reload kind of nonsense, then you are not going to get a second shot off before the person with the mace gets up to you and bashes your head in. So I'm kind of inclined to take my chances on being able to dodge that first shot, or that first shot with the crossbow is going to hit me somewhere that won't slow me down enough to stop me from stoving the person's head in with the mace. I thought about that probably way more than I should have. Moving on to the next question. I think that the people wishing that Davies bring back a previous Doctor, Tennant mostly, yeah, it is mostly Tennant, are doing a disservice to the show. However, would you be interested in a limited series exploring how the Meta-Crisis Doctor is dealing with aging, no regeneration, and living his life as another human on Earth? No, but I would be up for the Meta-Crisis Doctor and Rose showing up in an anniversary special or a multi-Doctor story down the line. I'd be game for that, to touch base, but like extended, no, because I think even making the distinction that this is the Meta Doctor, not the normal Doctor, I think you'd still run into the same splitting the fandom issues that I've talked about before. But I don't have a problem with checking in on them on a one-off basis. And by one-off, I don't mean limited series. I mean one-off. And one more. Have you watched Sex Education on Netflix? I have not. I'm trying to remember. I think I saw trailers for it a while back. I don't know. I kind of shrugged it off. I'll probably come back to the Discord in a bit because I can see that people are typing, but I'm not going to sit here and wait for the things to pop up. So, Carolyn, remind me to swing back to that. Let's see here. Brian L., thank you very much. You make me wish I were gay. I know it was meant as a compliment, but my thing about that is that assuming that the name Brian is for a masculine identifying person, which is a presumption on my part, granted, that means that if you wish that I make you wish you were gay implies that you wish you, like, that your natural inclinations leaned you my way, but unfortunately that means you perceive me as male, which, not ideal. I'm not going to be insulted by it, but like, I don't use the male pronouns anymore, and my days of feeling masculine are few and far between at this point. So I know you meant well. Like I genuinely do, and I'm not trying to make a thing. Did you see Verily Bitchy's latest video on bisexuality in media? I saw that it was up. I haven't watched it yet. Do you think the Ruth Doctor is the Doctor from the parallel universe and the Time Child is her story? I don't know. I'm not in the mood to speculate about the Timeless Child right now. I'm really not. Am I late? I thought this started at 8. No, Meg, it started... Well, normally it starts at 7, but as Carolyn has just pointed out, started a little late because it just got home from seeing Venom Let There Be Carnage. I'm sorry, Let There Be Carnage. Because this is what you need to know about that movie. It's the kind of movie where every time someone says the word Carnage, they pause just before they say Carnage. Even before it's the guy's name. Oh, my goodness. Vera, there was that clip that went viral on TikTok. TikTok. Oh, dear. What, of me? Which one? Was it the one where I said, because I'm gender fluid, no matter how you identify, if you're attracted to me, you're a little bit gay? Fair. Fair. Conversation we are having at uni today. What older video games like PS2 would you like to see remastered? Okay. Allow me to knock that back. But the fact that PS2 counts as older. And like, I know number of years it does, but like, to me, older games is 16-bit, 8-bit, and like, oh, God. Whoa. I don't know. Most of the ones that I would think would benefit from a remaster have already been remastered. Like, I know Shadow of Colossus got remastered. Pretty sure that all the Kingdom Hearts have been remastered. The God of Wars have been remastered. Like, that's the thing. I don't know what hasn't been remastered already. Because I feel like most of the answers that I would give already have. I think people who are wishing for 9 and or 10 to come back are confusing celebration of the past with regression. Bringing 10 back would feel like going back instead of progression. Yes. Yes, I agree. Which Big Finish audio story would you like to see made into a live action episode or series? Doesn't have to do a Doctor Who audio drama. I haven't listened to Big Finish outside of Doctor Who related stuff. And based off the Doctor Who stuff that I really like, none of it, because the stuff that I really like takes really good advantage of the audio medium, and I think it's best suited there. The things you would have to do to make it work, could be done. It has been done. Like elements of spare parts were folded into the World Enough in Time, and elements of Jubilee were folded into Dalek. So like, there's stuff like that, but I don't know. I guess the Missy stuff, Missy's series, that could work. Are you dressing up for Halloween? If so, what are you going as? Probably, and I don't know. I'll make it up as I go. PS2 was like my early childhood. Yeah, and that makes me feel old. If PS2 was your early childhood... I was out of college and living as a quote-unquote adult. By the time I had a PS2. So, if that was your early childhood... If they want to bring David Tennant back, they could make him a pre-Hartnell Doctor, give him a completely different personality. No! Just don't do it! No. Even as a troll, don't do that. I never played Silent Hill 2. Bear my bad. I was thinking of that clip from the other show where everyone was reacting to that dude's unit and you said you'd seen bigger. Oh, that one! Yes, that is true. What are your thoughts on Anastasia? It's kind of funny to me how many people misremember that as being a Disney movie, given that it was such a naked attempt by Don Bluth to make a Disney movie that he now kind of isn't even credited for it in a lot of people's memory. Now I want a Chrono Trigger remake on the same level as the Final Fantasy VII remake. Why? Like, Final Fantasy VII I get. Because Final Fantasy VII, even if only visually, was early polygonal, and early polygonal looked like crap. I'm sorry, it just did. 16-bit still looks good. It's wonderful and charming, and like, you could smooth it out so it looks more traditionally 2D animated, I guess. But other than that, what is there to gain? No. Since it is October, finally, which character do you see yourself as in Nightmare Before Christmas? Okay. When you say see myself as, do you mean like most relate to in general as a person, or would want to portray? Because, Jack's songs are in my range. So I could actually do Jack. That would be fun. Only dust and a plaque that reads, "Here lies poor old Jack." Little low on that bit, but as far as like who I actually connect with, honestly, probably Santa. I gotta feel like the world keeps barging in and screwing up my day, and I'm just left going, will you stop messing with everything? I remember the first Nintendo. I've still got my original Nintendo. That's, oh boy, it's in the attic. You want to feel old? Shrek came out 20 years ago. Yeah, I know. I know. Did you ever play Leisure Suit Larry or Space Quest games? No, I wasn't really doing computer gaming at that point. I was doing console. Words. Why can't I think words? Anyway, okay, going back to the, all right. So the comments went up in the Discord. So who would you rather have back for a multi-doctor story, Eccleston or McGann? Oh. Oh, dang. If I can only have one, I'm gonna go with McGann because I feel like his proper justice in TV is still just that 7-minute short, and he deserves more. As much as I would love to see Eccleston back, he had his full series and was great in it. And I would go with McGann out of those. Have you heard of the movie Infinitely Polar Bear? I recommend it if you haven't. I have not. Nope. Never heard of that. Not a clue what it is. So yeah, I have no idea what that is. I came out as a trans girl this week. Oh, yay! Still in the process of telling all family and building a game plan. But this has been a long time coming in. I'm really excited for the road ahead. Oh, that's wonderful. I'm really happy for you. And like, I wish coming out would be something that you only have to do once. It is something that you have to do over and over and over and over again. As you come out to family and then friends and coworkers and social media, and then you encounter people who knew you before who haven't found out yet, and you have to feel like you have to come out again. I know it's a lot, but congratulations. I'm very happy for you. You should dress up as Beetlejuice for Halloween. I do not have the money to get new outfits. So whatever I do, which will probably involve the horns that I showed off on TikTok not too long ago, because those are new and shiny. I can't afford new outfits. So like that's not a thing right now. Obviously, we don't want Past Doctor back for a full series, but what if RTD decided to bring back McGann? Depends on how he intends to use him. I would love to see McGann back for the 60th, but I'm not going to hold my breath for it. You once said you disliked Damien as a character. I wonder if you still feel the same way. For me, he has cool aspects, like his relationship with Dick. Here's the thing. It's always... Well, first of all, heart. Thank you. A new type JB Lee. Here's the thing, is that I can only go by the things with Damien that I've seen and or read, which isn't a lot. And I can't dispute when people tell me, oh, but this story arc, or in the last few years, Damien has gotten good in the comics or whatever. That may well be true, but that's not what I've taken in of Damien. What I've taken in of Damien is a handful of his early-ish comic book stuff and his representation in the DC animated movies, where he needed to lose the power of speech, if not just die. I really hated him. He was horrible. He was a terrible character, and they kept making him the focus of freaking everything. Really hate him. I love Tennant, but I think we saw everything his version of the Doctor could offer. I'm slightly more open to Eccleston since we saw so little, but even then it should be a few specials at most. Yeah, agreed on that. Would your top MCU villains list be different now? Any new entries? I mean, I cannot remember how he was named in the movie. But the villain from Shang-Chi probably would muscle his way on there at this point. It's gonna have to wait until we see the new Ant-Man where he's gonna show up again. But there's like provisionally a space for Kang, which I never thought I'd say. Kang is a terrible character in the comics, so go figure that. But yeah, there's been a little shifting. The Damien hate is giving me life. He's just so awful. Awful. Head Kittens. That's an adorable name. Head Kittens, thank you so much. You get a heart. Love to all trans, non-binary, and genderqueer comrades. Yes! Love and solidarity. I think we are going to wrap it up relatively soon. Wen Wu is his name. Thank you, John. Let's see. If there's a Roger and Hammerstein Cinderella Broadway revival, you should play the fairy godmother. People have been, like, there were people who were saying that I should like cosplay the fairy godmother from Shrek, which I don't know how to take that or not. Nick Briggs does a great job, but do you think more than one Dalek voice actor would work better? No. I don't know what the point would be. He does a good enough job distinguishing them as much as they need to be distinguished. And I don't think there's enough nuance to a Dalek character that you'd get any benefit from another voice actor. I mean, it's not an uninteresting question, but like, I don't know what you'd gain from that. We are going to wrap it up soon. Would you follow any content creator who was almost completely different media exposure to you, which basically all you do and have never watched Who or read DC? I mean, there are some. Like I've been watching James Stephanie Sterling for years, and I have not been playing current generation video games for a decade. So yeah, no, I get it. Another Ant-Man. I love Paul Rudd, but no. See, like, I'm not nearly as in love with Paul Rudd as everybody else is. And I really didn't like Ant-Man and the Wasp. My interest now is completely on the back of Kang, and I want to see what they do with him. Favorite McGann audio you've heard? Probably Chimes of Midnight. Maybe third after the usual Chimes of Midnight and Scherzo. I still haven't listened to Scherzo. Trying to think what else. I need to listen to more of his, actually, because I'm drawing a blank. Thanks. I'm going to steal that Dalek voice argument because I've got a friend who won't shut the hell up about it. New type JB Lee. Thank you again. What are your thoughts on 80s Doctor Who? Do you think the era is unfairly too hated? I think there's some cool stories in that decade. Oh yeah, it's definitely overhated. Like, there's some rough stuff. Sixth Doctor especially. But like, there's some really good, especially Seventh Doctor stuff in the 80s. Yeah. I think it's just overly maligned because it was the era that ended the show. So I think it's by association in some ways. I need to try and wrap this up. I've said that like 4 times now. Now it could be reason that Tennant would be good for the 60th, given he is one of the most known versions of the character in the current Doctor, and the special will be brand new. Yeah, like, it's hard to know where things should go moving forward in terms of all that. Would McGann's series work if the current Doctor telling a story is a series of flashbacks? No, it's not about framing. Just don't do it. I've given my reasons why I don't think it's a good idea, and those reasons don't vanish because of the way that you lend context to it. I've said this before. Narratively justifying a thing doesn't suddenly make something that doesn't work. My issues remain. Watch the Shrek Broadway show on DVD. Sadly, they use the T slur in relation to the wolf. Really? That I had not heard. Ew. What do you think of lost episodes being remade as modern Who? I'm not sure they translate well. Like, the fundamental storytelling of the eras is too different at this point. Vera, 10 minutes tops. Thank you for keeping me in line, Carolyn. I appreciate that. Because yes, I do have work to do. Recently rewatched Remembrance of the Daleks. I weirdly never realized how racist a lot of the characters were. Yeah. I love Tombs of the Cybermen a lot, but yeah, there's problems with it. And, you know, they're there in other things as well. But, okay, I am going to wrap it up. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. Thank you for... Oh, my God, now I've got hiccups. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for the questions. Thank you for your time and your love and your support and all of it. I appreciate it greatly. I hope that all of you have a great rest of the week. Go home, Vera, you're drunk. Oh, God. I'm not drunk and I'm already home. But anyways, thank you very much. Take care of yourself. Be well. Be safe. And be kind. And until next time, McCavity!